I walked onto my own property and found a demolition crew tearing into my mansion while the HOA president stood there, clipboard in hand, smiling like she was doing me a favor, telling me I'd abandoned it. The smell of diesel exhaust hit me like a punch, the screech of metal on wood slicing through the air. My 100-year-old oak staircase, the one I'd spent weeks planning to restore, was in splinters on the lawn. 6 months ago, I bought this place for $127,000 at auction. Thornhill Manor, a 1920s lakefront beauty on Lake Matthias in upstate New York. 6 bedrooms, 2 acres, 200 feet of private water. It was a wreck, sure, but I saw potential. I'm Marcus Jennings, 20 years in Navy, and I've rebuilt bridges in war zones. This should have been a cakewalk, but it wasn't. I'd left for a 3-month job in Alaska, and I came back to this. The woman with the clipboard, Darlene Van Camp, was a real estate agent, HOA president, and apparently a professional thief. Would you have called the cops or done what I did? Let me know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Got an HOA nightmare of your own? Tell me, and let me take you back to where this all started. Every good fight has a reason worth fighting for. I spent 20 years in the Navy, CB's construction battalion. We built airstrips in the middle of nowhere, bridges under fire, barracks in the 120-degree heat. It was honest work. Then, a training accident put shrapnel in my left leg. Now I walk with a limp, medical retirement at 45, a VA disability check, and a toolbox full of skills that nobody seemed to want. So, I did carpentry, side jobs, deck repairs, kitchen remodels, just enough to keep afloat. My grandmother, Estelle, raised me in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment in Syracuse. She cleaned houses for a living. She never owned anything, just rented, moved, rented again. But she had this habit. She'd cut out pictures from magazines, lakefront homes, big porches, docks stretching into blue water. She'd tape them inside her closet door and whisper, "One day, baby, one day, we'll have a place like that." She passed when I was 23. Never got her lake house. 2 years ago, I was scrolling through auction listings. Probably should have been job hunting. And then I saw it, Thornhill Manor. Estate sale foreclosure, lakefront, starting bid $1,950,000. The photos looked like a horror movie set, but I saw the hand-carved oak staircase, the stone fireplace built in 1924. Solid craftsman bones under all the rot. Auction day came. I was the only bidder. It closed at $127,000. Liquidated everything. Savings, truck fund, a Virginia rehab loan for $147,000. My daughter, Zoe, said, "Dad, that's not a fixer-upper. That's a felony waiting to happen." First walk through, the smell hit me like a wall. Wet plaster, mouse droppings, something dead somewhere. Broken glass crunched under my boots. But sunlight poured through busted shutters, turning the dust into gold. I ran my hand over that oak newel post, smooth and cool, generations of hands before mine. I could almost feel Estelle watching. I had 18 months mapped out. Foundation, electrical, roof, woodwork, do it myself, stretch the loan. Day 3, a white Lexus parks at the end of my driveway. Out steps this woman, mid-60s, ash blonde helmet of hair, pastel cardigan, clipboard gripped like a warrant. Darlene Van Camp, architectural review board chair for Lakeview Estates' HOA. She told me Thornhill violated 17 codes and 4 covenants. I had 30 days to submit plans for approval. I blinked. I told her I wasn't an HOA. My deed says no covenants. She smiled, all teeth and no warmth. "Oh, sweetheart, the plat map was amended in 2003. You bought in whether you knew it or not." I Googled her that night. Real estate agent, planning commission vice chair, widow of County Judge Van Camp. She owned 3 lakefront rentals. Ran Van Camp and Associates. 2 weeks later, I submitted 40 pages, architect drawings, engineer stamps, everything. Rejection in 72 hours. Materials weren't in keeping with neighborhood character. I appealed. The ARB hearing was 10 minutes long. Darlene mispronounced my name 3 times. Mr. Jenkins. Ron, a retired dentist, sat next to her. He leaned in. You sure you can handle this project, given your situation? Glanced at my leg brace. Darlene's syrupy voice cut through the air. We just want what's best for the community. Maybe a smaller property would suit you better. I kept my face neutral. I'll resubmit with adjustments. Walking out, I heard Ron mutter, "Good luck with that." That's when I knew this wasn't about codes. She wanted me gone. Week 4, I hired a structural crew. 3 good guys, solid rates, to shore up the sagging north wall. Winter was coming fast, and if that wall went, the whole second floor could collapse. Day 2 of work, a county inspector pulls up. Jerry, mid-50s, gut hanging over his belt, clipboard permanently glued to his hand. Work stop order. He slapped a red tag on my front door. Incomplete building permits. What's the problem? I wiped sawdust off my hands. Foundation surveys off by 18 inches. According to who? Jerry shrugged. County records. You'll need a new survey. 6 to 8 weeks processing. I called the survey company that afternoon. They pulled their file. Our measurements were accurate to the inch. We stake our license on it. I called my contractor, Lyle, that night. Marcus, I can't keep my crew idle for 2 months. I've got mortgage, truck payments. No hard feelings. That night, I sat alone in Thornhill, staring at that open wall and thinking maybe Zoe was right. Maybe this place was a teardown. But then, my hand rested on that oak newel post again. Smooth. Cool. 100 years of hands before mine. Estelle would have wanted me to fight. The next morning, I drove to the county clerk's office, basement archives. It smelled like old paper and government neglect. Fluorescent lights buzzed like dying wasps. I pulled every plat map, every zoning amendment, every HOA document from 1990 to present. 3 nights. Gas station coffee that tasted like asphalt. I found it. The 2003 amendment Darlene kept waving around. The one that supposedly tied Thornhill to the HOA. Never ratified by the county legislature, just town council. Town councils can't impose deed restrictions on existing properties without higher approval. It was illegal spot zoning, and Darlene's signature was right there on the petition. Her late husband, the judge, Ron, the dentist, and 2 other board cronies. All 5 of them owned lots next to Thornhill. After the amendment passed, their property values jumped 30%. They'd rigged the game to squeeze out Thornhill's original owners. I scanned 18 pages, drafted a 6-page memo, and emailed it to the town council, copied Beth Ramirez at the local paper and the state attorney general's HOA fraud hotline. I hit send. By Thursday, the town council scheduled an emergency session. Panic mode. Darlene called. Marcus, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Let's have coffee. We can work this out like neighbors. I'll take my coffee at the next council meeting, Darlene. Public comment period. Silence. Then I heard her nails, sharp clicks against her phone. You're making a mistake. Probably not my first. Definitely won't be my last. I installed 4 security cameras. Every angle covered. Cloud backup. If she wanted war, I'd document every battle. At the next meeting, Darlene had beaten me there by 2 hours. Every seat had a glossy flyer. Safety concerns at Thornhill Manor. She accused me of causing environmental hazards, unlicensed electrical work, and trespassers drinking by the lake. I didn't say a word, just waited. Then I stood. You should see this first image, I said, connecting my phone to the projector. Timestamp footage. Ron dumping trash on my property. Then, water quality tests showed pollutants near Darlene's rental. And finally, Darlene's proposed bylaw was illegal. Fraud and selective enforcement don't tend to play well in court. The room went silent. Darlene turned crimson. By the end of the meeting, Darlene's white Lexus was covered in snow, her empire crumbling. She tried to intimidate me, but I had proof. I wasn't leaving and Thornhill wasn't for sale. When the investigation started, I wasn't alone anymore. Elena, my neighbor, gave me a key piece of evidence. A dead raccoon on my porch? It was Ron's brother-in-law's doing. Beth from a newspaper uncovered Darlene's history of corruption. By the time the DA filed charges, Darlene was backed into a corner. Her real estate empire collapsed. She moved to Florida, and I stayed. I turned Thornhill into a place where creativity thrived. A community without an HOA, just people helping each other. Estelle would have loved this. I'd rebuilt Thornhill for her, and for every person who didn't have a voice.